Hello, everyone. It's Eleanor Pryor, and today I have a special guest hanging out with me, Karon Thackston. And I'm super excited to have her because we're going to be talking about Amazon's Advantage product listing strategies. Excuse me, I lost. Help me out there, Karon. I just totally lost my.
Amazon Advantage product listing strategies to boost your sales.
There you go. And that's the most important last two words. Everybody wants their sales boosted, right? So let me tell you a little bit about Karon. She is the president of a full-service copywriting and consultant agency specializing in conversion and search engine copywriting. And she has over 25 years of copywriting experience, contributing to the search engine and sales success of companies including Gordon's Seafood, American Boating Association, Entertainment.com, and more. And I'm super excited to talk to her today, especially during this time of year when all kinds of things Amazon are going on and being released, like private label courses and all kinds, and everybody getting ready for fourth quarter. So, yep, very excited. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Amazon background?
Well, probably 2 years ago now, I was first introduced to selling on Amazon through a webinar that was done by a group called NAMS, which is Novice to Advanced Marketing System. I speak at a conference that they do twice a year in Atlanta, and they began to have people doing webinars, not at the live conference yet, talking about this selling on Amazon thing. And I thought, why would I want to sell physical products through Amazon? But, it didn't make sense. So got into that a little bit with Christine Cobb, who is a friend of mine, and we also have a joint venture site together. And we started playing around with it to see what we could find out. And it started to grow for me a little bit. And it got to the point to where I was going to have to make a decision. Did I want to continue to own and operate Marketing Words and stay with that side of it, or was I going to dump all of that and go for Amazon FBA? There wasn't enough room for me to do both any longer. And about that same time, I lost a key supplier who decided that they did not want people selling their product on Amazon anymore. So they yanked that all of a sudden, and that was sort of my decision-making process. So I am now servicing, well, I say I, my team and I are servicing a lot of Amazon sellers through writing product description and product listings for them, doing keyword research and whatnot for them, which is what part of what Marketing Words does. And then all that kind of led around. We sort of went backwards. Most people create a product, and then people say, well, can you do the service too? We sort of went the other direction and ended up launching the Amazon Advantage ebook maybe 6 weeks ago now, I guess.
Okay, so now that you went backwards with that, why, I mean, you're having great success having clients coming to you. So my question would be is kind of what caused you to go ahead and write the book?
Well, a couple of different things. You're never going to be able to write copy for everybody out there that comes to you for a variety of reasons. One thing is time. And regardless of how many writers I put on, there's only so many hours in the day. I could hire hundreds of writers and maybe do it that way, but we were turning away people at that point because it was just too busy. And another thing is that you're not always going to get people that have the money to pay a professional copywriter, especially people that are starting out, that are just putting their first product up or whatever, and they're penny pinching, and they need to be able to do it themselves for a little while. There are people that like to do it themselves. Are we getting an echo?
A little bit of an echo.
Okay, let me know if you want me to grab a headset, because I can if it's annoying.
If you want to, yeah, maybe, because I hear a little bit of an echo. Yeah, it might be good to grab one.
The joys of doing things live.
It's okay. I can talk while you go grab a headset. So I can see when she was talking about the copywriting, I can totally attest to that as somebody who does internet marketing products. My budget for copywriter is definitely not non-existent. So I totally get that. Okay.
Yeah, see if that is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, and so it's while we are very affordable, in my opinion, there are people that just don't have the budget for that. There are people that have come and asked us to do some consulting with them because they love writing the copy, but the other things that were involved with it, the keyword research and correctly filling out the keyword fields in your add a cart section of Seller Central, which most people don't do correctly at all. Things like that, they wanted, once they had the listing up that was okay and they wanted to get it to convert better, those types of things. So they were asking us to consult on that. So all of those different reasons, we thought, we could do a book. It's a little ebook. It's not a massive $1,000 course that's going to take you 16 hours to finish. It's less than 70 pages. And that includes charts and cheat sheets and worksheets and all kinds of things too. So it wasn't anything that was brain surgery, but it is definitely filled with a ton of aha moments. And I just get such a kick on opening my email first thing in the morning these days because it never fails. There are emails in there from people going, oh my gosh, I never knew blah, 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 blah. I was doing this totally wrong. So it's a big kick to know that you've made a difference in what somebody's doing. So all of that kind of led us backwards into doing the ebook.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so if you're selling on Amazon right now, whether it's like retail arbitrage, wholesale, if you're private labeling, the elephant that's in the room right now since October, I'm so bad, I need to stop doing that. But bundling or manufacturing, what would you say is the key to ranking higher in the Amazon search results so that you can make more sales?
Well, it's not even what I say, it's what Amazon says. And I've been on several webinars where they had Amazon FBA managers on the call as guests, and they've all said the same thing, and Seller Central says the same thing. Your sales history is the most important element in getting your products to rank high, which is why so many people run ads to get sales up before they they start to get that sales history on their own, and then they've got something that's going to help to boost them. Thing is, when you're running those ads, where do they come from? They come from your title and from bullet points that you write and product listings, and of course the image is in there too, but all of it links together. The second thing they listed was your product title. The third thing that they listed was the description, and everybody goes, you left out the bullets. Not me, Amazon left out the bullets. And we're strictly talking about ranking here. We are not talking about conversion theories and above the fold and blah, blah, blah. This is just what Amazon has said. So all of that plays a role in what's going on too. But a lot of it is about your sales history. And most of that comes back to what text you put in there. If you have tons of traffic, whether you're running ads for a new product or not, if you've got tons of traffic coming in there, chances are they're not going to take a look at 5 or 6 pictures and go, wow, that's exactly what I wanted. They need information. And they need information that is written in a way so that your products are going to stand out from this sea of resellers that has flooded Amazon. And like you said, there's a big program that's relaunching today. Here comes another new flood of private label sellers, and then they're going to learn about bundling later on, and all this other stuff too. So the competition just keeps coming in. And take a look at your own Amazon experience from a shopper's standpoint. Whenever you go to Amazon, you type in whatever it is that you're looking for, those products come up, you start scanning titles, and you get the little picture over here. And yeah, you get some rankings and whatever, and that plays a big role. But the first thing that you're looking at that would give you information is that title. So it's not only extremely important because Amazon counts it as a keyword field. Most people didn't realize that. It is one of the elements that helps you rank higher in Amazon's internal search engine. It is what shows up in the advertisements and in most of the different types of category searches. So you see all these different places where your title pops up around Amazon, and it's really pulling more than double duty, triple duty, quadruple duty in order to get people over there. If you happen to have a product that's showing up for retargeting on Facebook or some other website that's using AdRoll or one of those programs to retarget people, what's going to pop up? The image and your title. So the majority of your conversions, not your traffic, but converting people to purchase your product instead of the hundreds of other options they have, all boils down to using your words.
I muted myself for a second. It's part of the beauty of working from home. My kids are older, but they still come in and out, like from school and stuff like that. So if I'm not responding, it's because I muted myself and I didn't want you to hear that background noise.
That's okay.
Okay, so as we mentioned, that so-called private labeling course, it's going to cost you a pretty four-digit penny. Is in relaunch right now for private labeling, and there is going to be, like you said, that rush of other private labels trying to get their products listings up, and then there's people like me. Because, well, first of all, those people who are doing the private labeling, they're in a rush because they're trying to recoup their investment. But then there's people like me who are doing retail arbitrage and also creating bundles so that I don't necessarily have to share the buy box with other people. And so can you tell me what kind of problems this creates and for who these problems are created?
Well, the biggest problem that's coming up is competition, and when it comes to private labeling, you have to keep in mind that all these hundreds and hundreds of people that are taking this one particular course, and there are others out there, it's just this one happens to be relaunching now, which is probably why it comes first to mind, but all of these people are being taught the same strategies, and they're all being given the same resources. And I have not taken this course, but I know a couple of people that have, and the example products that they're given, everybody's getting the same example products. Everybody's getting the same tips and pointed in the same direction from manufacturers and blah, blah, blah. Well, you got to think about it. You know, if everybody is being told to private label silicone spatulas or whatever it may be, all of a sudden you're going to have 10,000 different versions of silicone spatulas. I say different versions, they're really not. They're all the same, they just have different brand names on them. That's what private labeling is. You know, you take an existing product, you put a new label on it. So unless you decide to manufacture from start to finish your own product, you're going to have to find a way to make your blue silicone spatula stand out from the 999,000 other blue silicone spatulas that are being sold on Amazon. And it's confusion. The biggest problem of all of this is going to be fall right in the lap of the shopper, because it's going to be mass confusion. They're going to be looking and going, okay, that looks just like that other one. And the bullet points in the product description said pretty much exactly the same thing that those other 6 I just clicked to went to. All right, so which one's the cheapest? And then you end up in this downward spiral, and heaven forbid that you put up a product that somebody's plugged into their repricing program, and then there's a race to the bottom, literally. Those things get set off, and you get repricing. I mean, it's a war, and it really is a race to the bottom, because people are dropping, 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, $1, and all of a sudden this nice oversized blue silicone spatula that you were selling for $8.99 is being sold for 15 cents as an add-on. It's just, it's ridiculous. And so what what needs to be done, especially in these particular cases, is some type of unique angle, some type of unique approach to presenting that product so that it appeals to whoever you want it to appeal to. And that's where a lot of people get really disappointed in private labeling. They go through, sometimes they get a sample batch of 50 or whatever to sell and make sure that it's something that's going to do well for them. Other times people just jump right in and they order 1,000 blue silicone spatulas, and 6 months later they've got 962 of them left and they're freaking out. You know, what am I going to do now? Amazon's getting ready to ship all of these back to me because it's been a year, and you know, it's just not a good thing to do. So all of this is something that testing and tweaking your copy, the product listing text itself, can help you with separating your blue silicone spatula from a whole sea of other blue silicone spatulas. And that makes you more money. And it also allows you to charge more because people have a way to say, this one's different, this one's better, that's the one I want.
Right. So that's not a good thing when it's all about Amazon's whole premise is all about their relentless pursuit for customer satisfaction, as Tim Daly pointed out last week in the podcast with Deborah Conrad. So that totally defeats their purpose.
It is purpose.
Yeah. So, okay, so now we know that, like we are saying, there's more and more people that are finding success selling on Amazon, whether it's like what I'm doing in retail arbitrage or private labeling. So this really makes it hard for all of us sellers to differentiate ourselves. So tell us why, and you've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but why the copy in your product listings are additionally so important. There's other reasons besides some of the things that you pointed on.
Right. And it does provide information, but it also it provides inspiration when people are shopping. And everybody that's ever purchased anything from Amazon as a customer probably has had this same experience where you go looking for whatever it is that you want and you're flipping through and then a title catches your attention. Okay, let me click and see what this one is. And it's because the copy and the title and the bullet points and whatever provided you with a little twinkling of a thought that you didn't have before. If you go through and you're looking, let me see what a good example would be. As an example that I've used before, but it's a good one, with a food scale. A food scale is a food scale is a food scale. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. One approach that we took at one point was to say that it was a food scale for dieting instead of just a food scale or a USB food scale, or, you know, there are different approaches that you can take. But by putting this one out front as a food scale for dieting, we were able to attract the target audience that most likely would purchase these types of things. Now, there are lots of other segments that would also be purchasing food scales. People that have medical needs and would use it for things other than food. People that are trying to stay healthy. People that are not necessarily dieting but are maybe gluten intolerant, not completely with celiac or what have you, but they can only have so many grams of carbs a day or whatever, and they want to make sure, you know, if you get things that are not packaged and have it on a label, you know, you have to be able to measure the grams and things. So tons of different reasons that people would be using food scales, but we narrowed it down to focus on one. And because they had that inspiration when we were writing the copy and explaining, you know, you don't have to do this, but you can do that, and all the other information, then they were able to connect with this and think that it would serve the purpose that they specifically had in mind for it. And it was no longer just an arbitrary generic food scale. Oh, I think I like the silver one better than the black one. Oh, this one's, you know, $3 cheaper. I'll get it instead of that plastic one or that stainless steel one or whatever. It had a reason to be in their life. So one of the most important elements of copy is that it gives you the ability to connect with that shopper on some level that's personal to them. Want me to keep going?
I'm unmuting.
Are there children or pets in the room?
Yes. So as sellers, we know that the competition on Amazon is brutal, and we are spending time and money in creating our products or our bundle listings. But then we forget that our listing is an opportunity to converse and make a connection with our buyer, as you just said. So we really don't need to discuss that any further, but that is exactly what happened.
One thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next. Sorry, I'm sorry. No. All your questions here.
No, it's good. It's good. And that's the other reason why I like doing Hangouts too, because it's impromptu and we can kind of go along with the flow. So, or if you lose your thought like I did at the beginning. So as sellers, what are some of the questions that we should be asking ourselves how to do so that we boost ourselves?
When you create a product listing, you do first and foremost want to have a very good grasp on what unique approach you are going to take for that particular product or service. Maybe there's a way to make it exclusive to you. We'll continue with our blue silicone spatula. If you decide to create a bundle, for example, that could be your differentiating approach, that you have these other things that other people don't have in their product listing or in their bundle. So you could do that. You could take the approach that I was just talking about with pulling out one aspect that they would use this for instead of it's just this arbitrary blue spatula that you can purchase. So you could get very specific and target just one segment of the overall target audience. What else comes to mind off the top of my head? You can focus on materials. We just had something the other day that I can't give details about because it is truly an exclusive new product that they manufactured from start to finish. But this particular product was using a premium quality of silicone that is not a spatula, that had other properties besides what you would normally attribute to, to the way silicone moves and bends and things of that nature. So you can talk about the different types of materials that are involved. If it was created using a unique manufacturing process, you can talk about that. Maybe there are people or companies that use this. We had something, what was it that we wrote about the other day? There was one that came across my desk. I can't remember, but it was something, it was something that seamstresses use. And it had been featured, or something like it had been featured on a reality TV show. There's one about designers that are trying to make it big. I don't sew, so I'm not really into all this. I don't remember what the name of it was. But anyway, we mentioned, very similar to the ones they used in, maybe it was The Runway, The Project, something, I don't remember. But we mentioned that TV show, that these were very similar. You saw all the pros on blah, blah, blah TV show using something just like this one. So you can make a connection to something that people go, ooh, I like that show. I want to use what they're using. So tons of different ways that you can take the approach. It just takes a little bit of creativity and a very good understanding of your target audience to be able to come up with one that clicks when people read that first title and then start going through your bullet points.
So that's basically you're tapping into the mindset of your shopper and you're appealing to their buying instincts.
Exactly.
And then before we move further, there's this one thing, that you're always wanting to keep in mind is that you're playing by Amazon's rules.
Yes.
And and because I like to stir the pot, we're going to share this screen. And I found a few listings, that I'm pretty sure related to private labeling, and I would love to have your thoughts on those. So I'm going to go ahead and click this share button here.
I will tell you now that sometimes Amazon rules, I just shake my head. Why in the world won't you allow us to do blah, blah, blah? Why in the world do you require us to do blah, blah, blah? So, I don't know. I think they could use some fresh eyes when it comes to some of their policies, but not all of them. Yeah, here we go.
Yes, so just tell me when you're ready for me to scroll down, and I'll scroll down. But go ahead and have fun.
The first thing that I always think of when I go to any website, I mean, Marketing Words does different types of copy besides just Amazon product descriptions. But anything, I put on my customer hat or my client hat or whatever applies to whatever site that I'm looking at, because that's who you're trying to appeal to. And as a customer, I probably would not even read this title. It's a block of words. It's difficult to look at. And my eye immediately goes to the image on the left, which is not anything, outstanding to talk about. Most of the time, if there is a product with some white space around it, a product image with white space around it, that's where your eye will go first, most of the time. The second place that my eye goes is to this block of words, and it is against Amazon's terms of service to have something like this in there. And my question is always, then why does Amazon allow their system to accept something like this? I can promise you they're working on that. But I wouldn't even read that title. I would scroll down and start reading with the bullet points, because it's just too much. Everything is capitalized. Every word, the first letter is capitalized. It's difficult to read. Anytime somebody throws "the best" in there, I immediately think that it isn't, or they wouldn't have to tell me that. So, and maybe that's my copywriter genes, I'm reacting to that, but I would love to know if everybody else thinks this is difficult to read. I mean, I don't want to read that. So I think it needs to be a good deal shorter. But if, as a shopper, I would scroll down. You see what they've done, though, Allure Magazine? They've mentioned that's one of the techniques we were talking about before. So that's actually a good way to align yourself with something that people are familiar with and respect. Let's see what we have here. Best in Beauty Vitamin C Serum. Now, if they actually did win this, if they were named as a Best in Beauty, and they're not just trying to say that vitamin C serum, but if this specific one was named, that is a big deal. The bullets, let's see, widely considered to be the most effective organic vitamin C serum available and is proven to dramatically increase production of collagen. Technically, according to terms of service, you're not supposed to be putting in things like, the best and blah, blah, blah. What they do tell you to do is use features followed by benefits. And they have done that here. You can use multiple sentences in your bullet points. And I always stress when I'm talking about all of this that you need to check the style guides. Amazon has specific style guides for every single category that you can sell in on Amazon, available for download in Seller Central in PDF format. And it tells you, in this category, you can have a title no more than X characters. In this category, your bullet should be X characters. There's some of those categories that it talks about how to link together multiple sentences and whatever. So the length here is not necessarily against Amazon's terms of service, but again, it's long. And to look at it is sort of intimidating, especially if your people don't particularly care to read. Resulting in a much smoother texture and even skin tone, we guarantee you'll notice a much more youthful and radiant glow. They don't particularly like sales phrases to go in the bullet points. Everything I've seen has said that this is not the place for paragraphs. Literally, that's quoting Amazon Seller Central. This is not the place for paragraphs. So while you can connect sentences and they give you some leeway with length, personally, I think that first one is a mouthful. I probably wouldn't write them that long. Clinical strength, 20% vitamin C, vegan, absolute highest quality vitamin C serum. See, they keep saying vitamin C serum. Let's talk about keywords a little bit.
Okay.
Your title tag actually counts as a keyword field. And then inside Seller Central, when you add your product, you have 5 spaces that will allow you to type in 50 characters each. What most people don't understand is how you have to set this up for maximum impact on Amazon. They do not want you repeating, and it isn't necessary for you to repeat keywords from the title tag to the keyword fields. So in other words, if you have vitamin C serum in your title tag, you don't have to repeat it 22 times, and you also don't have to have it in your keyword field, and vice versa. If you have vitamin C serum in your keyword field, it doesn't have to be in your title or anywhere else on the page in order for you to rank for that term. Using the terms over and over again will not help your product rank higher on Amazon. This is not Google. As a matter of fact, Google doesn't go by that anymore either, although people do that. I've actually been in forums where they sat there and debated how much, not whether or not you should keyword stuff your product listings, but how much you should keyword stuff them. It's wasting space. You could be adding different keywords that bring in other types of traffic to your page instead of repeating this over and over and over and over again. Not to mention it gets really repetitive from a customer's point of view. About the 5th or 6th time I read vitamin C serum, I got it already. You don't have to keep saying it 22 more times. It's annoying to read that. So a lot of people will put one key phrase, not individual. That's the other thing. Amazon operates on individual keywords, not key phrases. And they even tell you when they walk you through in Seller Central how to set up these keyword fields that you don't have to have them in any particular order, but you do want them to be logical to what you're selling. So big issues with people wasting a ton of space. You could put way more keywords in there if you set all this stuff up automatically. But doing all this in the bullets and whatever, that's not doing anything but annoying your customers. All right, let's skip down and see what we have at the bottom. I actually wish they would move the honestly. I'm not even going there. I don't know anybody that's going to look at that and go, seriously? Whatever. Okay. Yeah. That speaks for itself. Product description. Now, there is a debate about whether or not you can use bolding and bullets and line breaks in your product description area. And if you look at Amazon's terms of service, it will tell you that this is not allowed. However, and listen carefully, if you send in a request with an example of what you're talking about, copy and paste the exact URL and say, I want to be able to do this too because it helps my customers view the information more clearly instead of this one big giant block of, again, nobody likes to read this big giant block of text like Amazon wants you to do it. I have done that. I know several other people have done that, and I have gotten responses which I copied and saved saying that the reason that they don't allow HTML in the product descriptions, which that's what drives the bolding and the bullet points and whatever, is because people mess them up all the time, and then they email Amazon and say, go in and fix this. I messed it up and I can't figure out what I did wrong. And they have a new policy now that they will not help you. with the HTML. That's your responsibility. So if you mess it up, it's just going to be messed up. But I verified with the Seller Central person that I was emailing with. I said, let me be sure I understand. I am allowed to use bolding and bullets and line breaks in my product description areas as long as I don't ask you to go back and fix it if I mess something up. And he said yes. So email Seller Central, tell them you know what you're doing, that you would like to be able to use bolding and whatnot in your product descriptions. I can promise you, if you say, I want to use big giant orange letters and other illegal characters that I'm not supposed to, they will tell you no. But for simple HTML, they will probably tell you that it's okay. But you would have to check on that for your own seller account. If you get busted, don't tell them, Karen said I could do this. No, Karen said Karen had permission to do this. So you need to check on that for your own accounts. But you can get permission to use bolding.
Cool. Okay, I had to apologize to you guys because I had Karen Blue Box for about 5 minutes, so you didn't really get to see this horrid description up here like she was talking about. And then this, so just come back and let me just point out where the vitamin C serum is here and here in the title twice, and then also here in the bullet points several times. Now, let's move on to the next one because I think the next one has colors that you were talking about.
Yeah, that is just, oh, please. This one actually, I mean, the special characters are absolutely against Amazon's terms of service, no doubt. They say over and over again that you're not supposed to do that. And you and I had a conversation before we went on the air about this. From all the webinars I've been on with Amazon, FBA managers, and all the other talk that's going around right now, I really see this coming. I think it's going to be something like Google's first major algorithm change that was somewhere around, I think it was called Florida, and then they had another one that was really big, and then here started with Panda and Penguin and the quality stuff. Way back when, Google didn't have the technology to police the search results and make people adhere to not necessarily Google's terms of service like Amazon has, but what they were saying you would get busted for if you did, and sites would still spam the search engines and rank high on Google. Now they have the technology, all these years later, to go in and weed those sites out. So you're seeing a lot of sites take a nosedive in the rankings, especially with this latest Penguin and Panda updates that have come out. I can see it now. It wouldn't shock me if Amazon was working feverishly in the background to update its algorithm so that it could detect things like this and lower these sites to the bottom of the rankings. And one day, in the not too distant future, it also would not surprise me if we woke up and saw people screaming, all my product pages are gone, they're not ranking on Amazon anymore, because they finally made the decision to do it and had the ability to do it. This is my prediction. This is not something that somebody told me was exactly going to happen, but I see it coming any day. Okay, hold on. Let me grab a sip of my drink here.
Okay. And then while you're doing that, can we also talk about this delivered to your email thing?
Yep. I actually like the look of this particular title way better than the other one because it's not as long. Every word isn't capped. I mean, you've got some differentiation. You've got some words that are all caps. I think that's also against Amazon's terms of service, but it gives you some variety in there. Stars are not allowed. Premium spiralizer e-bundle. Vegetable spiral slicer, recipe book, beginner's video delivered to your email. Customers have to contact you, and this goes beyond just writing product descriptions, but I happen to know this too. Customers have to contact you, and that's why you see this a lot. You will see in the product listings or They will tell you, email us and we'll send you blah, 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 because it is absolutely against Amazon's terms of service to contact customers for promotional purposes. You're not allowed to do that. But when they say something like this, delivered to your email, as far as I know, that is legal. However, what happens most of the time is somebody gets added to a seller's list that is off of Amazon, and then they start with a follow-up series on a particular product or other products that they sell or whatnot. Now, Amazon absolutely cannot control what people do off of Amazon, which is why they try to keep people on Amazon. Providing an email address in any part of your product listing is not allowed. Providing a link to any other website is not allowed. So that's why they have to ask these people to email them. You see a lot of this with providing a bonus. And I don't know how I feel about that as a customer. I guess if it was from a company that was legit and didn't try to spam me afterwards, I would be okay with that. But all of this is walking a really fine line. There's a lot of loopholes that some people will jump through when they're creating product listings. So you really, really, really have to be careful. Getting your account banned from Amazon, from what I understand, does not come with an appeals process. So once they kick you out, you're gone. And that would be a horrible thing to have happen just because you decided to walk a fine line. Let's see what's in the bullets. Oh, yeah. Okie dokie. Talk about this is not a place for paragraphs. Also comes with a free ebook, chock full of creative yet easy recipes. See, this is nothing new. It is new to Amazon, but a lot of products, actually, when you open the box, there's in the instruction manual, there's also a little recipe book. Manufacturers have been doing that for years. Get started with slicing, video training, turns vegetables into spirals. See, what a lot of people, the theory behind these huge giant bullet points is that a lot of times people don't scroll all the way down to the product description. And I have always thought Amazon needed to move that higher. But that's why they're doing this. But it's just, again, you've got a huge block of text. Yes, some of it's bold. Yes, we got a few little cute stars in there, but it's still a giant block of text. And nobody wants to read that. I would, just looking at it on the screen, I would not read the bullets. I would read the title. I would probably skip the bullets because it's just a sea of words. I don't like them that long as a customer. Let's see what we got at the bottom. Okay.
Color.
Color is absolutely not allowed. See, this is another thing. If you don't want to worry about coding, HTML coding for bullets, you can use these dashes, or you can use asterisks and a space, or the little carrots and a space. All that's fine, not a problem. Those are on your keyboard, so they don't count as special characters. You won't find a star or a heart or anything like that on your keyboard, so that would be considered a special character. Save time, lose weight, step on a fast track to supreme health with this award-winning kitchen gadget. Okay, and this is a spiral slicer? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I saw one the other day in Walgreens.
I'm going to lose weight by using a spiral slicer. Your wait to find the perfect spiral slicer is over. Simple tool. Get yourself on the fast track to weight loss, healthy living. I guess because you can do things like zucchini noodles and stuff like that with it. By simply giving a twist, you turn whole vegetables into gorgeous ribbons. Vegetable noodles, yep. Salad, gourmet garnishes. Isn't just for professional chefs anymore. See, the actual copy down here is not bad. I kind of raised an eyebrow to lose weight, supreme health thing, but I am very averse to hype. That's just not my deal. Stock is limited, no risk. Tip: buy 2 spiralizers, perfect gift for family and friends, and get free shipping. I would have to double check, but I'm not sure you're allowed to make offers in the product description because Amazon has a section on the page for that. I know you're not allowed to put portions of reviews or testimonials in the product description because there's a separate section for that. So most of the time, if there's another place that Amazon has already designated for something, you would not put it in your product description. The color is against the rules. I'm not a big fan of the headline down here, but the rest of it is pretty okay.
Okay, so I mean, I found a couple others, and we really could go on and on, but I particularly picked on these ones, and I'm going to show you exactly why I picked on these ones. It's very obvious that that these are private label sellers. When you go and you click on their stores, and you see that that is the only item in their product line, or if they have 1 or 2 items and they're not selling anything else, then it's very obvious that they are private labelers. And for this one, it looks like Oz is doing pretty good in their private labeling, but I'm sure if we went and checked out all these listings, that basically the same thing that we talked about would be there. So now that we have seen what not to do, let's go ahead and check out the sales page for the Amazon Advantage so that we know we can learn what to exactly do. And there's some great testimonials on here and everything, but if you're an Amazon seller and if you're new to the game, and especially even if you are going to be stubborn and sign up for that private labeling course that I've been trying so hard the last couple of weeks to discourage you to and share with you that you do have options, you definitely need to have certain things in your arsenal. And I already told you you need Jessica LaRue in your arsenal. So if you're going to be, yes, if you're going to be
Jessica.
yes, if you're going to be stubborn and you're going to go and do private labeling, you also need this tool in your arsenal so that you don't go and make, well, you don't want me sitting there laughing at you because you saw that's what I was doing the whole entire time. She was taking it apart. So, and like she says, she doesn't like hype. When you come to this sales page, you're going to see specific things like I talked about earlier. You need to play by Amazon's rules. Karon talked about how you need to tap into the Amazon shopper mindset and appeal to their buying instincts. And, you know, yeah, Amazon has an internal search engine, but Amazon is not Google.
Nope.
Remember, it's not I say potato, you say potato. It's not the same thing just because you're saying it differently. Okay? So let me tell you what, and you know what, Karon can also jump in here with this if she wants to have me shush for a minute. But this is what you're going to find in here in this PDF, which is 70 pages. And who doesn't want to boost their sales, especially right now? It's fourth quarter, so I'm giddy. So, oh, and then she has this thing which is really cool, her unique FACE method for determining the length and content of your product descriptions. And she also, some of the things that I really like is, because I'm visual, so I love to see step-by-step demonstrations. And didn't you say earlier when we started talking that you actually have, like, is it worksheets or checklists? What is it?
Both. In the ebook itself are tons of screenshots of examples, good and bad, so that you can follow along and you see me actually go through a complete product listing, one that I found that it wasn't bad, it wasn't like these ones that we've been looking at here, but this was something that was just pretty boring and it shouldn't have been. So I boosted it up. So I'll show you, exactly how I did that. But with every one of the chapters, there's a worksheet and or a cheat sheet, and they're also available in a separate document, because I had Deborah Conrad was actually the one that said, hey, I want to print these out, or I want to actually, she said, I want them to be fillable. So that particular document is a fillable PDF that you can type right into. And she said, I want to create a set of these documents, these worksheets for every product that I do. So can you please remove them from the book and also have them in a separate PDF and make them fillable? So to accommodate Deborah Conrad, that's what I did. And that's gone over really well too. So you've got a complete set of documents that you can basically go in and fill out, and another cheat sheet that you can look at, you know, to kind of guide your progress and take you step by step how to do all of the things that we've been talking about today. All this stuff up on the screen too. Eleanor must have children in the room.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't see you right now. I guess I could if I clicked on the little arrow, but
actually, no, you can't see me because I'm still screen sharing.
Yes.
One of the other things that well, first of all, I really wanted to share is since I brought up Jessica, is her testimonial. And and before I do that, yes, Deborah is the queen of bundles, so that was really fun on her podcast, listening to to her giving you a little bit of a grief about that, but yes. But Jessica is my Amazon coach. She's the one that has taught me everything I know about going out and doing retail arbitrage. She introduced me to the idea of bundles when she introduced me to Deborah Conrad, and so her testimonial is really great. She says, as an Amazon FBA seller, I am great at finding products, but writing the copy to sell them is a whole different story. I've been creating my own Amazon listings for 5 years now and honestly never put much thought into the descriptions or features, lists of the product page, and my main concern has always been the keywords in the title. After reading Karon's guide, I now understand the importance of these other areas and what a major impact they can have on product pages, as well as some big things I was missing as far as the title and keywords. I learned a key piece of information about the keyword section that I didn't know and was a little embarrassed that I didn't know it. This one tip will save me a whole line in the keyword area. If you're doing your own listings and want them to sell long term, make sure to grab this guide and understand the mindset of the wording before you just throw up a page on Amazon. That's an awesome testimonial.
Thank you very much. Jessica is a huge fan of this little ebook, and God love her, she just has promoted her little heart out. And I thank her very much for all that she is doing to get the word out about this ebook. But one thing that you hit on that I do want to emphasize is this is for people that are adding new product listings to Amazon. If you are doing retail arbitrage in the way that you're tacking onto an existing listing, this won't do you any good. This is only for people that are adding new, it's a product you found, retail arbitrage, that is not already on Amazon. It's something that you've put into a bundle, and that's going to be a new product, something you private labeled, something that your company manufactures for itself, and you're thinking about also selling on Amazon in addition to your website, that type of thing. But if everything you do involves tacking your inventory onto an existing product listing in Amazon, you don't need this book. This is not for that.
Okay, and then the other thing that I really liked about this is that you have also created, did I pass up the Facebook group? No, there it is.
Yeah, yep, Facebook.
You have a bonus with a private Facebook group where people can ask their questions and brainstorm, and basically brainstorming and networking so that they can get any help that they need in regarding their listings.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is an awesome bonus, because after you've read a product and stuff like that, it's always neat to go back in and be able to interact with other people that have the same product, and maybe they picked up on something that you didn't pick up on and had that aha moment before you had it, so then they share it, and it's really good because it helps you. The whole point of this is to boost your sales out there on Amazon.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And then again, also, she has frequently asked questions here on the sales page. So like if you're an FBA seller on Amazon, do you need the course? Like she said, if you're just doing the retail, then no. But me personally, as you're growing, even though you are just doing retail, just like I graduated from just going and doing retail, but also creating bundles, which means I actually had to create my own listings.
Right.
That's so it just depends on where you are or where you're growing in your process with your business. And then
and sometimes retail arbitrage folks will come across a product that they've picked up, at Walmart or Target or whatever, and it's not already on Amazon. So they would have to create a product listing that way also.
Right. And then also, as I've been taking the stabs at the private labeling people, which doesn't mean private labeling is bad. It's amazing, but if you're doing it right, and not, as I've been trying to explain and get my point across, there are other options than this one course that's being launched. So you don't feel that you have to go into Hawk just to do private labeling. You have other options, but the question is, can Amazon Advantage product listing strategies to boost your sales help you with your private labeling? And yes, it definitely can.
Yep.
And then there's a couple other questions. And then, of course, you already know who Karon is because we've been hanging out, but you can come and find out more about her here. So now let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, I brought a little something for everybody.
Just a little.
A little present.
Cool. Okay, so if you go, my special link, actually I didn't share that with you, and we all know I don't know how to spell, so my link is Eleanor
Did you
Loves.
put it with an E?
No, I spell Loves, L-U-V-S.
Oh.
So it's eleanorloves.com/Amazon Advantage, and it's all lowercase. And because Karon is so awesome, she gave me a discount code. So if you use my first name and the number 40, and my first name is all caps, you get 40% off. So
It's not case sensitive.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, cool.
So they can do it upper or lower, whichever.
Okay, cool. So it's just Eleanor 40.
No spaces.
No spaces, all one word. Use that as your discount code, and like I said, if you're going to be doing this, you need to have somebody who knows and plays by the rules, for one, because you don't want to jeopardize your Amazon account. And I happen to have come across, there's very, very few instances, when people screw up and get their Amazon account back. But you do not want to screw up and then beg for forgiveness later with Amazon, because you're just one in how many thousands and thousands of sellers on Amazon?
Oh, I know, really.
Not even a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I didn't know. I have seen people that have gotten a warning for certain things and didn't actually have their account canceled. I've never known anybody that actually had the account revoked that got it back.
Yeah, there is one person that there's one person I know of that had a few violations and wasn't paying attention and got their account revoked and got it back. To the tune of like 10 violations that he didn't answer out. But anyways, that's a whole other story for another time. But anyways, so go grab your report so that you can boost your sales and have the Amazon advantage you need and create amazing product listings. And Karon, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. And that link again is eleanorloves.com/Amazon Advantage.
Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.